Welcome back to Game Talk from the Bench. I'm your host, Drew Barreto. Today I'm here with my co-host, my uncle Andrew Barreto. And today we're going to be starting off with baseball because last night was one of the best baseball games I've personally watched. Um, World Series Game 3, series tied 1-1, and the game goes 18 innings. I mean, nothing beats. I know back in 2018 we had an 18 inning game at Dodger Stadium, so it was like deja vu. But man, this game was spectacular. We haven't covered game one or two, but game one was a close game till Blue Jays blew the door wide open. Ended up winning 11-4. Game two, it was a pitcher's duel. Dodgers, I believe they were tied till Kevin Gosman let up two home runs in the seventh, and then it was Dodgers from there. Dodgers won 5-1. And then last night, um, Alejandro Kirk hit a three-run home run to put the Blue Jays up 3-2. Shohei Ohtani was fantastic last night. On Monday the 20 was it 27th? Yeah, Monday the 27th. This game happened. We record this on Tuesday, so it's 28th. But yeah, Shohei was fantastic. He was 3 for 3. Not three home runs. Was he? No, he had two home runs. He was walked. He was intentionally walked 4 times. He was got on base 7 times last night during the 18 innings. But yeah, this game was a pitcher's duel. I mean, after the seventh inning, when Shohei tied the game, there was man. Let's see. So it was seventh inning, eighth, ninth, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. I can't even tell you how many innings there were. But it finally ended off a Freddie Freeman walk-off home run in the bottom of the 18th inning. I mean, it was crazy. All bullpens were used from both teams. All bench players were used. I know for at least the Blue Jays. I don't know about the Dodgers. Dodgers didn't use all the bench pieces, but man, it was an insane game. Dodgers escape and win 6-5. I mean, the game almost went to midnight. It was a 6+ hour long game. Like I said, it was like 11:52 when he hit the home run. So it was right before midnight. Game four is currently on. Blue Jays took a took a 3-1 lead on the Dodgers right now. Oh no, well
Yeah, I
Vlad hit
heard
a two-run
about
home run.
this.
They were up, yeah, Vlad hit a 2-1 home run, so they're up 3-1 right now at the bottom top of the seventh.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm watching it. Dodgers got into a double play. But yeah,
I'm
so that
watching
game,
Magic Johnson high fiving in the stands there when Shohei hit that home run you're talking about. But I heard about this. Unfortunately I told myself I was gonna chime in and watch some baseball for once. In a very long time. I did not make it. They has a schedule in my. There was a conflict in my schedule there with the Warriors playing. We'll talk about later,
yeah,
but yeah, see, I missed out here, and Otani's still doing goat like things, right?
yeah. I mean, it was like I said, it was 5-5. I was like, you know what? I'll just take a shower right after this game. And this was about around like 10 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock. Um, yeah, and then like 10:30, let's say. Um, and then all of a sudden, next thing I know, it was like 11:45 or 11:50, and still watching the game, haven't taken a shower yet. And then finally, around like 12 o'clock, I was able to take a shower, get clean. But I was like, that was a game to watch. I mean, like I didn't even want to like look away because it's just how close it was, how the pitching was, how the hitting was. It was insane. But yes, currently right now, um, it is the top of the seventh. It's 3-1 Blue Jays. Shohei Ohtani just exited the game from pitching. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe the game will end by the time this episode is over, and we could give an update on that. But game five is tomorrow in LA. Regardless. But yes, we'll move on. Moving on to the NFL. We just wrapped up week 8. Yes, week 8. Vikings Chargers. I'm pretty sure we both chose the Vikings. Not the Vikings. The Chargers on this pick. Chargers absolutely dominated, 37-10. Not much to say there. I talked about it in our last episode. I said the Falcons are frauds, and they are. And they got blown out by the Dolphins, 34-10. Upset of the week, I would say, is Ravens over the Bears. They won 30-16 with Tyler Huntley at quarterback. Um, Same with the
Yeah,
Jets. Jets somehow came back and beat the Bengals. I mean, yeah, it's a crazy week.
Jets had that, or Bengals were winning that whole, majority of the time until that fourth quarter. Looks like Jets put up 23 points in the fourth quarter to pull out their first win of the season. Um, pretty exciting for the Jets there because they didn't really have a lot to cheer about, and yeah, they ruined a home game for the Bengals. Like you said, the Ravens get a big win too. There's still hope, for the Ravens, especially if they go on a winning streak, which could happen when their MVP comes back, which I believe Lamar
Said
Jackson's.
next week. Next week he
Okay,
should be
yeah,
back. I mean, they're still dealing with a lot of injuries,
yeah,
but yeah, I'm hope maybe they could turn around. Like you said, big win. Brings them to 2-5. I mean, there's a chance, right? At any
right.
given Sunday. But yeah, the MVP, their MVP will come back, and hopefully he can turn the season around. But another upset of the week, the Texans have struggled a lot this year. They have been a bad football team. They haven't been good. CJ Stroud hasn't played well. The team as a whole hasn't played well, but they upset the Niners 26-15. I know the Niners, you know, we keep talking about it because I mean, Mac Jones is still playing quarterback. Their defense is still injured, but they've won big games. No matter the fact they won last week against the Falcons, but like I said, the Falcons are frauds. But yeah, I
Well, like,
mean the not. But yeah, but no, this Niners team keeps finding ways to. Well, not this week, but they were finding ways to win, and the Texans just got them on Sunday, and like I said, we said it's gonna
yeah,
be tough. You're missing Fred
I
Warner,
think
Nick Bosa.
right, and I think the kind of like the Niners have been winning, and with their younger core on the defensive side that they have there, and it's just a matter of time. I didn't really expect them to just win every single matchup, and they got Houston. They were at home, and it looks like CJ Stroud, kind of just tore them apart. He's 30 for 39, 318 and two scores, and that kind of cemented the victory for them. Is his play. The defense didn't really have a chance, and the Niners didn't have a chance. And yeah, they just looking to regroup, but I still think they're 5-3, the Niners, and I think they have a winnable game coming up against the Jaguars, I believe. Maybe not.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Giants.
I believe yeah the Giants.
Yeah.
But yeah, we won't cover like all these games from week 8, but the Patriots dominated the Browns 32-13. Myles Garrett had 5 sacks this game, and he was upset on the sideline. Um, and I believe we talked about it when he signed the extension. You can be mad all you want that you're losing. You are the one who signed the $200 million contract. You said, "Hey, you're gonna pay me 40 million? That's great." But you also should have known you're signing with the Browns. You're not gonna win many football games.
Yeah.
So he had a great day himself. I mean, we're not gonna take it away. He's one of if not the best defensive player in the league. But he can't be frustrated when his team's losing because that's kind of what he signed up for, right? And I get the loyalty and stuff, but then again, he took the big $40 million contract so that the team couldn't build around him. So I mean, we could have a full conversation on that, but we'll just kind of skip past it because we've already talked about it before. But big injury news for the Giants. Obviously, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, the Giants played the Eagles and they won. This week, Eagles without AJ Brown. But big injury news to Cam Scatterboo. He's out for the year. Dislocated ankle, broken. Believe it was broken. I know it's dislocated. But yeah, tough injury. He's out for the year. Jackson Dart, that was his guy. The Giants were playing really good offensively with Dart and Scatterboo. I mean, they still played pretty good. They put up 20 points. Eagles 138-20. But yeah, brutal, especially for those who had Cam Scatterboo in fantasy football. I know he was tearing it up for everyone. He was scoring touchdowns left and right. I'm pretty sure he even had a touchdown. He had a receiving touchdown to start the game. But yeah, he goes out, I believe, late in the first, early in the second quarter. And now he's out for the rest of the year. So hopefully he'll bounce back next year, but it's a big blow for the young Giants offense. I was just starting to get things to really go. But I mean, it's a positive sign for New York fans, right? Dart and
Yeah.
Scatterboo, you got your 1-2 punch, for years to come. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
brutal.
unfortunate because they were they were riding high with the optimism that they got these rookie guys who are showing some heart and giving life to the Giants fans, but you see one guy go down and out for the season, and you're just kind of like, okay, well, here we go again, back to the drawing board. So they're going to find themselves, um, trying to gather the pieces together and just try to eke out some wins somewhere. But like I was saying, they're playing the Niners this week, so we'll talk about that later. not sure they get a victory next week either.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's be tough to say, but like I said, we're not gonna cover thoroughly all these games. But Danny Dimes and the Colts won again. So like I said, they dominated 38-14 against the Titans. But
You had to cover that one, huh?
I will say though, Jonathan Taylor, if he continues at the pace he is, deserves to be MVP. Saquon Barkley last season had 15 touchdowns. So far, 8 weeks in, Jonathan Taylor has 15 touchdowns. He's just been unstoppable. I have him in fantasy. It's been great. I drafted him in the third round, and he's been 30 points every week. He's been fantastic. I mean, like he's taken a huge weight off Daniel Jones' shoulders. Even Daniel Jones himself has just been balling now, and this Colts team is looking great, which is a total surprise from last year. They didn't look that great at all coming out of this year, and they're one of the best teams in the league, and it's good to see. Um, so I
Yeah,
just thought I would throw out
eight
there.
hundred and fifty yards, leading the league with 850 yards by the time. I mean, what is he may be chasing the Barclays.
He might be. I mean, dude, I feel like every week he's got like a 50+ yard run. So we'll see. But yeah, he's been great. But moving on to Sunday Night Football, we had Packers Steelers. I didn't really watch this game when I turned it on. The Steelers were winning though. And then I turned it back on, and the Packers had essentially won the game. But Jordan Love had 20 consecutive completions. I did see that. It was Aaron Rodgers' reunion or revenge game against the Packers, even though he
Yeah,
didn't. Even though he said it wasn't a revenge game.
yeah.
But yeah, Jordan Love, 29 to 37, 360 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was great. Tucker Kraft was incredible, 7 catches, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers, on the other hand, he wasn't terrible, 219, 2 touchdowns. But yeah, the Green Bay offense just took over. They scored 21 points in the fourth. Kind of hard to beat a team. But the offense like that, I talked about it last week. They're kind of shaky. This week, they might have proved me wrong. We have to continue to see. But yeah, they're looking good. Jordan Love's looking like the quarterback for the next 10 years. The Packers that just had Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love. I mean, they're just great at getting their quarterback, and he'll be around for a while.
And we're upset. And we're upset as Raider fans about that they consistently have good coaching, good
Yeah.
quarterbacks, good offensive system. Josh Jacobs, he goes to them and he's pretty effective there as well. And yeah, Jordan Love, he just picked apart the Steelers defense, which is they're not that bad on defense, right?
They're not. They have a lot of veterans. They got a lot of good guys, but yeah, he just was able to go up 20 completions. It was the first time I believe since Brett Favre. I don't know if that's like for quarterbacks overall, but it might have been just for Packers. But yeah, he was on one. He was on one, to say the least. But Monday Night Football, we had Commanders Chiefs, and this game was tied 7-7.5, I believe. Yes, 7-7.5. Marcus Mariota obviously was the starting quarterback. Because McDaniels was injured, but after that it was just straight Chiefs. Mariota 21 for 30, 213, 1 touchdown, 2 INTs. Mahomes 25 for 34, 299 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also had 2 INTs. Um, and I really can't tell you much about this game. Like I said, I didn't really watch it. Ever since I started school, I haven't really watched Monday night or Thursday night football. Just watching games on Sunday. But like I said before, Chiefs are getting momentum. They're getting back in the rhythm. And so we'll see if there'll be a team. Well, obviously, well, I'm not gonna say if they will, but they will be a team. If they continue like this, threatening in the playoffs. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, Chiefs get a big win on Monday Night Football. Commanders continue to have their struggles in their injury-plagued season. After Jaden McDaniels' great year from last year.
Yeah, they have the Chiefs creeping up the ladder there, right? They're winning three in a row, and now obviously the Colts and the Patriots and the Broncos. Those are the top guys right now. Steelers 4-3, and here comes the 5-3 Chiefs. And we just knew that was going to happen. You can't keep one of the goats, I guess you could call Mahomes. He's a multiple Super Bowl time winner, and so I think guys like those, they're just not going to call it quits and give up. Here they come, and I can see, they're going to make a push.
Yeah, they're definitely they'll be there. We'll see Hopefully it's the Colts. See if any team could take them out of the playoffs. But I'm moving on to our Week 9 predictions. Thursday Night Football, we have Ravens, Dolphins. Both teams coming off a W. Ravens should be getting Lamar Jackson back. Tua just played his best game of the year of the season thus far. This is an interesting one to me. I'm gonna go with the Ravens just because I feel like they had a big upset win over the Bears, who are a better team than the Falcons. Um, so I'm gonna rock with the Ravens, especially if Lamar is playing. I still don't know if that is 100% confirmed. Um, but if he is playing, I will go with the Ravens.
Yeah, I think I'm going that route too. Ravens trying to build something there, and then getting their leader back. I think they pull that out and end up. I'm looking for them. Who do they play this last? Oh, the Bears. Yeah. So looking at their 2-5 record, and they get this win too. I just feel even though the Dolphins beat not your favorite Atlanta Falcons team, I think that I think the coach there. See, I think he's on the hot seat still, even though they put up 34 points.
McDaniel, you
Um,
think? Not Josh McDaniels.
Yeah,
What's the name? Mike McDaniel? Yeah.
yeah. I just think he's, some cases, players knowing this from being a Raider fan, some players they just quit and they stop playing for a coach, and I think like maybe he's not completely there because they obviously went out and won a game, but I think against the Ravens here, they're going to be riding high with Lamar Jackson, most likely coming back.
Yeah. Speaking of players giving up on coaches, I think that's what happened last time the Raiders played. When the Raiders played the Chiefs, they got shut out. They won nothing. That's what it looked like when watching that game. But
Hey,
we'll move on to that. Big matchup. Obviously, we're going over the primetime games plus big matchups. There aren't really much big matchups during the 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock games. I mean, the only big matchup between the 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock games is Bills and Chiefs. Right, 125. We all know this rivalry. Um, Question is the Bills team gonna show up? Right, they're coming off a bye week. No, they're not. They're coming off a big 40-9 win over the Panthers. Um, But like I said before, they lost to the Falcons on Monday Night Football. They did not look like a good team. They looked great last week against the Panthers, but then again, it's the Carolina Panthers, so who knows? Chiefs have been hot. They're on a Darnold win streak, so we'll see who shows up. Just but based off past years and stuff, like I said, I continue to say this, and I will continue to say this. I don't believe the Bills have the team to win the Super Bowl. That being said, I will choose the Chiefs to win this matchup and continue the hot streak because Mahomes and Andy Reid and that Devil Magic just continues to go.
yeah, the way the season started. I mean, remember we talked about it before. It's like it was just
Yeah,
AFC was up for grabs, and you got the Colts there, and are they for reals? And obviously, 8 weeks into it, they look for reals as the number one seed. Chiefs are it looks like getting a groove back. Yeah, I'm sure they got question marks in their defensive and offensive sides of the ball, but now's the time for the Bills to show that hey, they want to take that leap to get into the Super Bowl. But that Falcons game where they just didn't look like they wanted it or were unprepared, or maybe they just overlooked the Falcons completely that night. But yeah, I wasn't sold on them, and I'm taking the Chiefs as well. But if the Bills want to make a statement, this would be the game.
yeah, yeah. Like that's a great point. I mean, if they want to show the league that hey, we are the team that can make it and win the Super Bowl, this week would be the week to send that message. Like you said. I mean, it's a great point. It's a big testament to their season, right? I mean, even if they lose and they make the playoffs, we know they won't beat the Bills or the Chiefs in the playoffs. So I mean, we'll see. But that's a great point to make. That this could not make or break the Bills season, but it could send a message to the league. Moving on to Sunday Night Football, we have Seahawks Commanders. I still think with the injury to Jaden Daniels, I believe he will play. However, though, I just don't see him winning. The Seahawks team has been great. Sam Darnold has been playing great. Him and Jackson Smith and Jigba have a great connection. They've got a great offense. Defense is getting the job done. I'm going Seahawks beating the Commanders on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. That connection there that they got, Darnold and then his receiver there, who's got 819 yards already in the in 8 weeks of football. I mean, that's just amazing. And who knows? He keeps it up. He may be setting the record for receiving yards. Uh, Commanders without their another team. This is what happens when your leader and your number one player goes down. You just end up, being 3-5, and after Sunday night, I think you'll be 3-6.
Yeah, I think it's just how it is. It's been a rough year for the Commanders. I mean, the sophomore year slump plus the injuries. I mean, it you could look to try to get out of it, but it just hasn't looked great for them thus far. But moving on to Monday Night Football, we only have one Monday Night Football, and I think that's how it is for the rest of the year, um, which is great. But moving on to Monday Night Football, we have Cowboys, Cardinals. Now, this past week, Cowboys had no one available on defense. I looked at the injury report. Almost the whole second day was out with injury, and they got blown out 44-21 against the Broncos. But the offense still put up 21 points against arguably the best defense in the league. Cardinals, don't know if Kyler Murray's playing. I believe he's questionable. We all know Josh Dobbs played last week for them against the Packers. No, it was not last week. 2 weeks ago. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Cowboys. I think their offense is just incredible, right? The number one ranked offense. Like I said, if their defense can get healthy and they can make some trades, I mean, it's tough because they're 3-4-1. They still have a decent shot to make the playoffs, but I think I got the Cowboys winning on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I think they're, like you said, that offense is enough to carry them over the Cardinals on Monday night. It was injuries on the side of the Cardinals that that's your big players go down, or maybe if they're probable or questionable, whatever it may be, then if they're playing not 100%, the Cowboys end up taking advantage of that and pulling it out.
Yeah, I think this should be an easy one for the Cowboys, and we'll see how that goes. But moving on to a little bit of NFL news. Steelers acquire safety Kyle Duggar from the Patriots with Deshaun Elliott headed to the IR. So get them some safety help. I don't know why the Patriots are going to trade Kyle Duggar, especially since they are in playoff contention and they are looking good. Drake May is looking at like an MVP candidate. But then Patriots also trading, but this one's not as bad. They're trading Keon White to the 49ers in 2026 pick swap. He was just the I'm blanking on the word. Backup. He was just a backup reserve guy. And then rookie Tyler Show for the Saints will be
Yeah,
starting in week 9 after Spencer Rattler got benched last week against the what's it called? Against the Bucks. And now we're approaching the trade deadline, which is this week, November 4th, next week. Yes, next week. Wow, that is quick. November 4th. I think I get that mixed up because I set my fantasy trade deadline to like the end of November. But yeah, trade deadline next week. We'll see. Obviously we'll get into that probably next Tuesday. As it gets closer. Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer promises changes to defense after blowout loss to Broncos. So we'll see how that goes. But that is all for the NFL. Moving on to the NBA, we talked about last episode we talked about like, the first couple of games. Talked about guys like VJ Edgecombe who's continuing to play well. Wemby's been playing out of his mind. He dropped 40 in his first game. Austin Reeves dropped 50 the other night. Anthony Edwards dropped
yes.
40. Luka dropped 40. I mean, everyone's dropping 40 in this first like week of basketball.
I think
But
Austin Reeves just hit 40 last night, and he had 50 the night before, or something like that. But
yeah, so he's getting a lot of opportunity with LeBron out. But all I gotta say is the best player in the league, and it is and will always continue to be number 30 for Golden State. Steph Curry. I mean, if you watched this Warriors Nuggets game last Thursday, it was incredible. It looked like this game was lost. Aaron Gordon had 50 points. He
yeah,
continues to tear up the Warriors every time he plays them. Um, and then the chef showed up. I believe he had 7 points at half. He ended the game with 43 or 42 or 43. And he was just incredible. He sent the game single-handedly, tied the game, sent the game to overtime, and then he single-handedly won overtime. I mean, he's just incredible to watch. I mean, they were down 120 to 117, and this guy was probably 35 feet out, contested and tied the
Yeah.
game on a deep three. I mean,
I think he hit 16 in a row, 16
yeah,
one
he scored.
points in a row in that game.
Yeah, he did.
Um, Curry does what he normally has been doing his whole career for me, is getting me up off of my chair, yelling at the TV. Just tons of excitement when you watch him play. Just when you think, hey, this guy, he's on the older side, or playing in the
37.
NBA
Yeah.
world, but he just continues to do it. I mean, despite the age, but the Warriors have one of the older teams in the league too. With Horford, Draymond Green, um, Curry, but they're still. I mean, they're looking really good right now. That but Jimmy Butler, that's another guy.
Mm-hmm.
They're just
Kaminga's been playing great.
Kaminga's jumped in the starting role, and he's been playing offensively and defensively great basketball so far. I know it's only been 4 games, but if this is just kind of like they say that sample size, then yeah, it's some good basketball. I mean, just in general, NBA they've been on fire
It's
so
been
far
good.
to start off the
It's been good.
season.
I still gotta get into watching it. I haven't been watching much. Probably after this, I'll turn on the Warriors game. But yeah, man,
Well,
it's
he
been great.
starts at 8.
I mean, yeah, but Steph Curry he's incredible. I mean, people say who's the best point guard of all time, and if they don't say it's Steph Curry, I mean, you're gonna go with Magic Johnson. I don't see Magic Johnson doing half the things Steph Curry does. I mean, the things that, like you said, the things Steph Curry has fans, even that aren't Warriors fans, he gets them off their seats yelling at the TV. I mean, what he does is just no one else does it. No one else does it.
He hit the 3, and I think it was the one that put him to overtime. And he turned to the Denver Nuggets sideline, told the coach to call. Did you see him? Told him to call
Hmm.
timeout, and then he just turns around and pumps up the whole crowd. Good thing. Yeah, that was a hell of a game. Obviously, they took a little backtrack again. Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah, but
And then
yeah, I was gonna talk about
last
that.
night, who they play? Last night they ended up
They played Memphis,
the
and all the
Grizzlies.
young guys showed up. All the young guys
Yeah,
showed up.
so they got a
Moody
nice
at
core,
20. Yeah,
right?
they got a nice
Yeah,
score.
yeah.
But yeah, talk about the Trailblazers. Warriors were on the back-to-back against the Trailblazers. They end up losing by 20. But that Trailblazers team, they're good, man. I mean, I know Chauncey Billups has all of his, gambling allegations, but they are a good young team. Denny Avdia, he's great. Obviously they have the 7 foot Klingon. I'm trying to think, what's his name? Oh, he's their good defender. Something Kamara. He's really
Oh, right,
good.
right.
They got really good young. They have a really good young team. And they should be Poland fans should be excited for the future. Obviously, Dame's with the team. Um, obviously he's not
They
healthy,
just
but
beat,
he's with the team.
they just beat the Lakers last night.
Yes, they beat the Lakers last night.
So yeah, it's not the Warriors was 2-2, but I mean it's still a young season. Um, they end up beating the Lakers. Austin Reeves had 40 something. Let's see here. Yeah, 41. They have Drew Holiday on the squad.
Yeah, they do have Drew
He's a
Holiday. Yeah, yeah. No,
Kamara. Yeah,
they got a good mix of young guys and vets. Like I said, they'll be a good team. Another team that's looking to be good is the 76ers, right? We talked about, Tyrese Maxey had 40 the other night. They have VJ Edgecombe, the rookie. He's been great. Joel Embiid has been on a little bit of a limit restriction or a minute restriction, so he hasn't been played. Obviously, Paul George is out with injury. He'll be back later this year. But if Paul George and Embiid could start playing like moderately at their level, I mean, the 76ers could win the East this year. Obviously, like we talked about, Celtics they won yesterday, but they started off the year they're 1-3. They don't have Jason Tatum. They lost a lot of all-star type players. Um, Rockets are winning games. Or they won the first game yesterday. They 1-2. Um, Spurs continue to win. They're 4-0. I know Wemby saw that the Spurs franchise has never been 5-0, so he said we're gonna try to get that done. Um, Spurs got another great young team. Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, Wemby. Obviously, they have Darren Fox. Jazz
Did,
beat
did
the
you see the
Suns.
little? Did you see the little clip they had about Wemby? I mean, obviously he's playing great basketball right now. There was one possession where he
Yeah,
blocked
like a double
two
block.
guys coming
Yeah.
up for a shot. He blocked one. He blocked another guy. Then he ended up getting the ball and bringing it up court, and he shot would look like a logo three, and he nailed it. So the
Yeah,
Spurs
I
are,
saw
yeah, like you
something
said,
on
they're playing
that.
some good ball right now.
I saw something like that. I was like, yeah, we need to create a rule for Wemby. This is just insane. It was like like you said, he blocked one guy, was like on the floor, got up, blocked the next guy, and then continued to make all the plays. But yeah, he's an alien. He's a freak of nature. He's crazy.
He's an alien. They're playing good. I know you brought up the Sixers. They're 4-0. They won tonight over the Washington Wizards in overtime. Maxey again, 39 points. Edgecomb, 14. Joel Embiid played this game, and he had
Yeah,
25 to
25.
contribute. So
Quentin Grimes off the bench at 23. Yeah, I mean
doing good.
they got good
Right.
depth. They got a good team. So we'll see how that goes. Thunder continue to win. They're 5-0. They've had a couple close games. Obviously, two games gone to double OT. They beat the Kings by 6 tonight. Shea doing what he does, 31 points. Obviously the Thunder are gonna be top team in the West. We know that. Um, so we'll see how that is. Bucks 2-1. Obviously Bucks with no Dame. Obviously Giannis and I was gonna say Miles Garrett. No, Giannis and Miles Turner, um, leading the way. And like you said, 8 o'clock by the time we finish this episode, or probably before
Yeah.
that. But Warriors play Clippers tonight. Obviously, Clippers, they're 2-1. Obviously, they lost their first game. They got blown out by the Jazz. But the Jazz are a good team. They are 2-1. They just beat the Suns in overtime yesterday. But yeah, it's kind of hard to talk NBA, especially we're only like 4 or 5 games in. But as we get into the weeks, we'll get more into it, especially with baseball. Finishing up, it is currently 6-1. Blue Jays adding on to the lead. It is the
Yeah.
bottom of the eighth. Bottom of the eighth, Blue Jays up 6-1. Looking at even the series 2-2 in the World Series. Um,
Good.
In NBA news wise, there just isn't much. Luca dealing with the hamstring injury or finger injury. I lied. Um, Anthony Edwards dealing with the hamstring injury. So a couple little injuries to some of the stars. Obviously LeBron still hasn't played yet. And so we'll just gotta continue to see how the years go, how the season goes. But it's exciting to see NBA's back. I'll definitely be tuning into this Warriors game tonight. Um, But that is all for today. Thank you all for tuning in. I'd like to thank my co-host, my uncle, for joining me today. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify. We try to get many posts out. And yeah, just continue to like and comment. And until next time, stay ready.